Hello and welcome to a very special video from Dirt Sheet Mania. I am the voice, Craig Anderson, always alongside the Director of Creativity, Kieran Smith.
That's me.
Today, guys, we will be talking about the problem with this year's Wrestlemania. Now, you might think, well, why would there be a problem with this year's Wrestlemania? There's so much talent on Raw, on SmackDown.
There's a ridiculous
It's
amount of
so deep and so stacked. But
there's not a lot of injuries this year as well.
No, there's not. There's only like a small handful of injuries, unlike other years at WrestleMania. So, guys, what is the problem with this year's WrestleMania? Me and Kieran will go through the matches, what we think are going to happen this year, or rather the matches that should happen at this year's WrestleMania. That obviously includes championship matches of every variety, the Undertaker's match, which always happens at WrestleMania, as well as the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. They're the three kind of scopes of matches at WrestleMania. It's
more like an early WrestleMania prediction, the prediction of the card, who we think is going to be in the matches, who's going to be facing certain people. And we come to the conclusion that there could be a few big names left off this card.
There'll either be big names missing from the card or put in matches you would never have even imagined they'd be in.
Yeah, and there'll probably be multi-man matches, quite a few of them, to get these people in the card.
Well, what we've got down here is simply match. He's the champions. Example, SmackDown has the Usos as the SmackDown Tag Team Champions versus question mark. Yeah. Now, that could be against one team. That could be against three teams. Both tag matches could be four corner matches. We don't know, but we are going to go through this WrestleMania card that we think the matches should happen. And guys, we don't think there's even enough time to put all these on WrestleMania. So someone will miss out this year's WrestleMania, a big name, because they have to. There's no room for everybody.
They'll miss out on the big on the main card.
I'd even think they'll miss out on the whole thing, even
like
the pre-show.
Dean Ambrose, Baron Corbin was on the pre-show last year. I mean, you say that Dean Ambrose is a big name, former WWE champion.
The year before, he faced Brock Lesnar.
There you go.
Someone will be in the same scenario this year, guys. We will talk about that right now. So right now, what me and Kieran are going to do is we are going to go through the matches that we think should be at WrestleMania. Some of these people have opponents. We're going to say the matches we think are almost set in stone. And then we're going to talk about the matches which should happen and that at the moment they don't necessarily have an opponent. Fair enough?
Yeah, I think that's fair enough.
Okay, so we're going to hammer them through, okay?
Yeah.
First one is for the WWE title, AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura. I think that's definitely happening.
Yeah, I think that's definitely happening. The only thing I can see that possibly may change with this is that Kevin and Sammy get added to the match.
And I think that's a fair
assumption.
Because of where we are.
I hope not. I want to see AJ versus Shinsuke.
We should say that this is being recorded on purposely before either Raw and SmackDown has their last independent show.
Yeah.
So you've got Fastlane for SmackDown, you've got the Elimination Chamber for Raw, okay? So we're doing it on purpose before then, just to see if we're right and we haven't got an advantage to see if SmackDown's storylines or Raw storylines go a little bit further down the line before we get to WrestleMania. Yeah. Okay, so we certainly think AJ Nakamura, but potentially something to do with Sammy and Kevin.
Yeah.
4-way triple threat, we don't know, but them two definitely in that match at WrestleMania. Yeah. Cool. Universal Championship, Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns.
Yeah. As you'll probably see from my Elimination Chamber prediction preview show, we did say there might be a potential for Seth to be added into this match to make a triple threat, but I think we're reasonably happy with Roman versus Brock.
Yeah, it's been a long...
I say reasonably happy. We're not probably happy about the match, but in terms of predicting what the WrestleMania card will be, these two will be facing each other.
Yeah, completely
probably
agree.
In the last match of the night, the main event.
The main event, yeah, absolutely. Next, we move on to the SmackDown Women's Championship and the Raw Women's Championship. We think Asuka will face Charlotte, and we think Nia Jax will face Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I think Charlotte Asuka's the nailed-on one here.
We should say we think these are all matches that we think will definitely take place.
Yeah.
When we will come to the point where we think that match won't happen. But yeah, we think that SmackDown one is 100% happening.
Yeah. The Raw one, the Raw women's title, Nia Jax versus Alexa. I think it could be a possibility that they go again, another multi-women championship.
Alexa had a multi-women last year with Naomi winning against this. She was SmackDown Women's Champion
and
that
even
time.
On the Raw side of things last year, they had a fatal four-way, didn't they, with Bayley defending the title against Sasha, Charlotte, and Nia Jax.
Yeah, you're completely
There's
correct.
Potential that Bayley and Sasha get added to this match. Maybe for Mickie James. Maybe make it a 6-pack challenge.
Maybe for Mandy and Sonya again.
It could be could be anyone, you know.
But for our money, neither. But the thing is, though, Nia versus Alexa is a great end to this. Friends, frenemies, hate each other, like each other. They've been kept away each other recently, and Alexa's been gravitating towards Mickie James, like an old friendship from SmackDown. But for us, Nia Jax versus Mickie James. Nia Jax versus Alexa Bliss.
I think in terms of the women's evolution, I think you need 2 singles matches for the title.
Of course you do.
And plus another women's match.
Yes,
to fully establish the fact that
they need more than just championship matches. They need rivalries.
Yeah.
And I think, like I've said before, I've said it more than once, the next logical step for the women is a tag division.
Yeah.
I think it really, especially the different now. I want to throw this out there really quickly, just yes or no. Will Carmella cash in at WrestleMania?
I had this theory a few weeks ago. I can't remember if we talked about it on air or off air, that neither Charlotte or Asuka will walk out with the title, the SmackDown Women's title at WrestleMania.
I think she'll cash in. I think
she'll cash in during the match. You're protecting Asuka's streak. Mm-hmm. And you're getting the title off Charlotte.
Not that it gives something for her to do, because you shouldn't just do it to give her something to do. But I think it will add another level and more drama to that match.
And it's a WrestleMania moment, and they like to create WrestleMania.
Everyone likes WrestleMania moments at the moment. Okay, so there you go. I think Carmella will be involved in this match somewhat. So that's her involved for me. Okay.
Yeah.
We move on. The Undertaker versus John Cena. We now probably think, in our opinion, he should have had it already, but we think this will be the Undertaker's final match.
I wouldn't mind this being a career versus career match.
Oh, could you imagine? Is that not too obvious? Is it too obvious? Are they putting them down the easy path?
We all know that this is probably going to be Taker's last match.
It could
unless,
be,
Taker decides to face Sting.
Let's hope.
These two young men. But I think if Cena
versus the Undertaker in a career-ending match.
Cena's obviously alluded to the fact that he's got other things he's doing in his life. He has his movie career. He's presenting kids' TV shows, awards, and things like that. So he could put his career on the line because he maybe wants a way out, or he wants to still prove that he can do it. And if his career is always on the line, and if he puts that career on the line against Undertaker, who's probably in his final match, a career versus career match, I think makes a lot of sense. And I think it adds something to the match.
Do you know what? All it does do is it shows that, when these two come together, Taker can Cena can say, well, I've won 16 world titles. Taker's, I've got the best undefeated streak at WrestleMania. Yes, it's been broken, but it's still the best, and it probably will never be matched again. So why don't we do winner take all? The winner is the ultimate legend almost. It's almost like here's my stock versus your stock.
Yeah. Who's
the biggest of the best?
Yeah, I think from Undertaker's loss to Roman last year, I think Undertaker's reason to go for John Cena is that he needs to prove that he can still do it. And who are you going to do it against? You do it against the best.
Yeah.
The best that's been in this company for 15 years.
Yeah. The benchmark.
Yeah. I mean, look, you could potentially face The Rock in kayfabe terms, but obviously
Undertaker Rock, sorry.
Hogan's obviously way gone. Austin's never going to wrestle again.
No, yeah.
So obviously the next one in line will
and
be
he's
John Cena.
And he's done Triple H twice, 3 times if you include 17 as well. So yeah. Okay, so that moves on nicely actually to the match that we are potentially going to see Ronda Rousey in at WrestleMania. I'm going to call it the Ronda match because there's still a few elements that we're not entirely sure of. We will say straight away, we've already told you the Raw and SmackDown women's title matches. At one point, I did think she might be in a women's championship match. I can't see that. I really can't. And I actually think that would be terrible if she was. I don't think I'd enjoy that.
Not for a first match. There's not many superstars.
Bypass NXT, bypass every other single female, and to go... she's going to be in a big match anyway. She's going to get heat from some of them.
She's got star power, and she's a well-known name.
But to be in a title match, we don't think so. So we think it'll be a tag.
Yeah.
And I think it'll be Triple H and Stephanie.
Yeah.
Who we think at least Stephanie will be at Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
To help sign Ronda's contract with Kurt. Kurt is the GM, Steph is the commissioner. So there's a few different people that we think could be Ronda's tag team partner come WrestleMania against Triple H and Stephanie. There's 3. 2 that are more obvious, one that you thought a bit left field, which we mentioned in the Chamber preview show. The Rock and Kurt Angle are the slightly more
likely ones. And
for me, Kurt is the front runner because he's there.
Because he's there.
It could even be a winner take Raw thing. I don't know. They could add something to it. The Rock is another one that we spoke about.
Yeah.
The other one you mentioned was
Batista,
which is a great shout.
And the reason we say Batista, star power, been in some Guardians of the Galaxy 2, which is
James Bond.
He's,
so good.
He's made a good career since leaving the WWE, and obviously the last thing he was seen to do on WWE TV was to wave goodbye
to
Triple H and Evolution. So it sort of ties into a storyline. Whether they could get Dave to come in, I don't know.
If he did, it'd be
a one-shot deal. Yeah. I think he'd do it. He has talked about coming back and doing full time,
but he doesn't like the PG adder. If he came back, he'd want to be edgy. He'd want to be a bit ballsy.
I think like the way he come back last time, he come back and he won the Royal Rumble to his chorus of boos.
But you know what?
He wanted to come back as a heel, but they wanted to come back as a face.
So he knew better, really. He knew how they'd react.
I think now, if he did come back, he would come back as a face, and I think it would work because of the star power he has.
Also, the fact
they'll see him as Drax the Destroyer
when he came through and he did that. People called him Bootista, Bluetista, and everything in between. When he left.
But actually, that was mostly to do with Daniel Bryan. It might not have been actually to do with Batista himself. It was to do because Daniel Bryan was such
the role of any career, let alone his career.
So
hot streak is an understatement. Yeah. It couldn't be any hotter for Daniel Bryan at that stage of his career. That's a great shout. And I think he'd come back. But anyway, I think Kurt Angle's the favourite, followed by The Rock. Great outshine, better Batista. I think that's a really good.
Potentially Seth as well, because as you'll find through here, we can't position Seth anywhere permanently.
There's nowhere for him unless
he could go in 3 or 4 places on here.
Yeah, I guess the only positive with Seth is he's very ambidextrous, flexible. He can be kind of slotted in and easily reunite the feud he had with Triple H and Stephanie. But the only other match that is definitely going to happen at WrestleMania, and it will probably be on the kickoff show, is the final with the Cruiserweight title match, the Cruiserweight title tournament, should I say.
I think it's obvious it probably will be on the kickoff show. But
which doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing.
Because at the end of the day, the kickoff show is free.
Yeah,
you can watch that on YouTube.
It's still WrestleMania. You still get paid the same.
You still go out there.
Still get WrestleMania paycheck.
Do you remember the Cruiserweight title match last year?
Yeah, it was probably one of the best matches of the night.
It got bumped from the DVD from all accounts.
Yeah,
because it was
Neville to leave, wasn't it? And Austin Aries.
It was Austin Aries left shortly after, didn't he? And then obviously Neville left. Not too long after, but so
how about this for the Cruiserweight title match? As it's on 205 Live and as Cruiserweight talents aren't actively appearing on Raw at the moment, how about that Cruiserweight title match being on NXT TakeOver the night before?
I've always said that the Cruiserweight title should have been another addition to the 205 to the NXT bracket, because it's not WWE Cruiserweight Championship, it's Cruiserweight Champion.
You can see with the people in the tournament at the moment, the Roderick Strongs, the Buddy Murphys, the
Tyler Bate was in it earlier on as well.
Mark Andrews.
It's all
there are people from NXT that are going up and through and switching between the brands and everything like that. I think if it took place on TakeOver, I think it'll get a lot more people willing and wanting to see that match.
Wrestling
and it'd be a
fans.
proper wrestling match. It would be like Tyler Bate versus Pete Dunne. And
I think it might be Roderick Strong, Mark Andrews in that final.
Yeah.
I think that's probably what I'm leaning towards. Or Roderick Strong, Buddy Murphy. Roddy will come through that side of the bracket. It depends if it's Buddy or if it's Andrews from the other side.
I think it'll end up being Cedric versus
Roderick. Or was Cedric on the side of Roderick?
Yeah, I can't remember who's on the other side of the draw. But
so much talent in that match.
There is.
But either way, I think if it happened on TakeOver, great. But if it did happen at WrestleMania, which I think it probably will, I think the kickoff show.
They might have to literally go that. So we can't get this Cruiserweight title match on WrestleMania. Let's put it on NXT. Vince might literally have to go, Trips, we need to move this to NXT.
And as we can see already, that would be a great decision.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So okay, that's the end of the matches.
So that's
1, 2,
7,
3, 4, 5, 6.
6. Okay.
That's 6. Roman Brock, Asuka Charlotte, Nia Bliss, the Ronda tag, Cena versus Taker, and the Cruiserweight. That's 6 matches that we can pretty much say will be happening at this year's WrestleMania. These are the ones that we think should happen. Now, this is where we start to get in the is there enough time?
Yeah.
Right. So we'll go through them quickly and then we'll sort of break it down a little bit as we go. So we think The Miz will have an Intercontinental Championship match.
Yeah.
Okay. We think Bobby Roode will defend the US title.
Yeah.
We think the Bar will defend the Raw titles, tag titles. The Usos defend the SmackDown tag team titles. We think there will be some sort of, not that Bryan will wrestle, don't start getting your hopes up about all that, but there'll be some sort of Shane McMahon, Bryan, Kevin, Sammy thing.
Yeah, somehow between the four of them.
It is maybe there's another special referee gimmick.
Yeah.
Hard to tell in regards. And then the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royale. Okay, so once we've gone through,
possibly Bayley versus Sasha.
Possibly, Bayley versus Sasha is another one. Yeah. But it's like you said, there needs to be another women's match at WrestleMania that isn't Ronda.
Yeah.
But that is a proper match from the women of SmackDown or Raw, like the men do.
Yeah.
So
in my opinion, every championship needs to be defended at WrestleMania.
It's the pinnacle.
Last year, the SmackDown tag titles wasn't defended. American Alpha were the champions at the time.
Yeah, they were.
And they didn't defend the titles. And I think that's a travesty. I think that counts against...
Even if it's on the pre-show, man.
Just
Baron Corbin and Dean Ambrose, they're on the pre-show last year.
So this is why we've got a lot of matches there that we're going, Miz will have an Intercontinental title match. Because he needs to defend the title. Who he defends it against is another question.
So... Let's break. So we'll go through the matches that we think we should be now wrestling for those championships at WrestleMania, and then we'll go down a list of people that we don't think we can even get on.
Yeah.
So where they'll go is a complete anyone's guess, really. So we think the Miz will defend the Intercontinental title against Braun Strowman.
Yeah, Braun Strowman or potentially Finn Balor.
Finn's another one.
I think Finn would be the better choice. Give him a title going at WrestleMania. I'll give him a WrestleMania moment for now before he's going to have another 10 years with the WWE. But
I disagree. I don't disagree in a bad way. I just simply disagree in I think Braun deserves something going on.
Yeah, I do as well. But
just simply as of now, he deserves something. Just on booking standpoint, he deserves something a bit more.
But this is the problem is
with WrestleMania.
If you put Braun in there, where does Finn go? If you put Finn in there, where does
Braun go? Does Braun team up with Ronda Rousey to get revenge on Triple H for trying to screw him at Survivor Series last year?
Yeah.
That could be...
That could tie in as well.
That could tie in as well. You could come back in a roundabout because last time I saw you were trying to screw me.
It'd be an odd pairing.
Ronda and Braun.
Yeah, I think in terms of...
Alexa and Braun's a weird pairing, but that works really well.
In terms of...
I think you're cute.
I know we're going back to Ronda and everything like that, but I think because Ronda's got the star power, do you want someone with her that can do the talking, promote the business?
Rock, Kurt.
Is Braun that person that can do it?
Lately, yeah. Have you seen them promos on Raw?
But in terms of mainstream media, is he that person? If it was Kurt, if it was The Rock, if it was Batista,
household names, all three of them are household names.
If it was Seth, I could trust Seth because I think Seth is very...
he's a company guy.
He's a company guy. He talks very eloquently.
Yeah.
He can talk well.
Handsome young man.
Yeah, and he'd be a good pick. But again,
he's on. You don't get put on the video game cover.
Yeah, exactly.
If you're not going to be invested by the company. So I think that's fair enough. Move on to the United States Championship match that Bobby Roode will be having. As of speaking, he's in a kind of a feud with both Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton. He will be facing Randy Orton at the Fastlane pay-per-view. I think probably this could be a triple threat match at WrestleMania.
I think this will be like a 6-man, 7-man ladder match.
Normally,
I think this will be the multi-man ladder match at WrestleMania.
Well,
they always tend to.
And last year, Intercontinental title had it. So this year, so effectively in this match, you could have Jinder, Randy, Bobby, Rusev, and Aiden English possibly as well.
From the New Day, and
could be Xavier could want that title back as well.
Mojo Rawley, Zack Ryder.
Mm-hmm. This could be your 6-8 person ladder match.
I think that's what most likely will happen.
So should we go on a line and say something like Mojo, Zack, Bobby, Randy, Jinder, and Xavier?
Yeah,
that could be a logical.
Yeah, I think so.
6-person ladder match at WrestleMania without going into because you could throw around a few other names.
Yeah,
but that
I think but even in
not Baron Corbin.
See, that's the thing.
Where's he go?
Where you putting Baron? There's just so many names. I mean, we'll go through.
Who knows if it doesn't work out? Maybe if there isn't a Daniel Bryan Sammy thing, maybe Sammy and Kevin could be in that match.
Yeah,
it happened with Rated RKO back in the day when they split up. They ended up in a ladder match that opened WrestleMania for the Money in the Bank.
Yeah,
that was a 9-person Money in the Bank match.
Again, just to get everyone.
But 24, 23,
23. I think that was
You could see 9-10 guys from SmackDown being in this match.
Just to try and get everyone on the card. And that's what WWE like to do. They like to try and get everyone possible on the card.
Have a ladder match, have it open the show, which they do, generally do end up tend to do. Zack Ryder did it last year. Was it last year Zack Ryder won the Intercontinental title?
I think it was, wasn't it?
feels like a decade ago.
It does, doesn't it? Yeah.
So that could potentially be the match that Bobby Roode has at WrestleMania. Then we move on to the bar for the Raw Tag Team Championships. So I think obviously there will be champions at WrestleMania. Yeah. You could have them defend the belts against Titus Worldwide.
See, again, there's not many Raw tag teams to defend against, and I think the most logical version of this is the Club. If you're going to go for a straight,
they're not even
match.
They're on the pre-show this week.
Yeah.
On
But then you got the Revival. But if you add the Revival in, you might as well add the Club in. If you're going to add them two in, you may as well add
Titus Worldwide. Could be a 4-corner match.
4-way ladder tag team match for titles.
I kind of hope that isn't ladder. There's not many ladder guys.
Yeah,
in
but
there.
that's probably how they do it.
Could have a 4-corner.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Was it 31? I think it was both Raw and SmackDown championships were 4-corner matches. I think, or was it only when it was one tag title?
Yeah.
When I think that's the one where Cesaro got injured.
Yeah.
Do you remember that one?
Yeah.
Was that Kid?
I think it was Kid.
Yeah. Yeah, and one of the Usos got injured, I think, in that match, and got written out. But that was a 4-corner. It's on the pre-show.
I think it was on the pre-show.
Yeah, I think I remember that. That was a great match. So that could be. That was when I was 30. Sorry, because Seth cashed in. That was the night. 'Cause I remember got Duck was the night went on.
No, it's 31. It's
31.
It's 31.
August 30 was Brian.
Yeah.
This is why he's here. This is why he's here. So I could see this being a 4-corner match, but it doesn't really strike you as...
Yeah.
The bar have to be on WrestleMania,
not,
but when you talk about the other teams that could potentially be in it, because there's no Shield now, because the New Day have gone to SmackDown, there doesn't strike me as... And the Revival should definitely get a title match, but if you don't watch NXT,
the bar,
you won't know much about them.
The bar should be on the main show. I think they deserve for
100%
for what they've done the last year. They should be on the main show. I think unfortunately when you pair them with all the other Raw tag teams, that's pre-show for me.
Or
not at all.
Just one of them that don't get caught, and maybe they're all in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
Maybe so.
It would be an absolute travesty. It would.
Yeah.
But when you look at it from a step back and you think, right, who could they face? And unless they put them other 3 teams in, Titus Worldwide, the Bar, and the Revival, and the Club, I cannot see how that will be on the main show, and if not on the show at all.
We're talking about the Raw tag team titles. I think the SmackDown tag team title situations.
That's even more
worse.
Well, it's better. I don't think the SmackDown division tag is better.
I think.
Okay,
again,
because you could have the Usos, versus New Day, versus Rusev Day, versus we even forgot a Raw tag team in Slater and Rhino.
Okay, we'll forget about them. Most people do.
They're not going to be at WrestleMania. They'll be in the Andre the Giant Battle Royale.
They will be. Maybe the Dudley Boys may have a match.
Well, they're going to the Hall of Fame.
Look, we'll go on to the SmackDown.
Maybe the Hardy Boys.
Yeah, potentially.
Maybe I mean, who knows? I'm not 100% sure of Jeff's time before he comes back, but potentially the Hardy Boys could reunite, depending if Matt gets done with Bray and Broken Hardys.
But that's the thing.
That's another one. Where are they going to go?
Where are they going to go? Again,
assuming Jeff's fit in time.
Yeah, but onto the SmackDown tag titles.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Again, could it be another fatal 4-way? Potentially, yes.
They could very easily just say both Raw and SmackDown matches will be fatal 4-ways.
Yeah, and I think if it's another fatal 4-way, that's pre-show. Unless the only way I could see, and this is the thing. I think you forget the Usos have never been on the main card of WrestleMania.
They've not. Did you see that gimmick the other day?
Crazy.
They've been on. I think it was 1 year they were bumped. Was that the year it was supposed to be Rose Scholars and the Bella Twins?
Yeah, something like
versus them and
the Funkadactyls. Probably. I don't know.
It could be them. I can't. And they got bumped last minute because Taker ran over.
Yeah.
I mean, he can run over. It's the Undertaker. But that was the scenario we're left in.
The only way that I see the Usos being on this card is one of 2 ways: is that they face the New Day again,
which they are at this point in time planned to at Fastlane.
Yeah, or if they do the Bar versus the Usos, both tag champs versus each other, not as a title match, not as a
bragging rights,
just
sort
to say,
of
because obviously they had that match at Survivor Series. Maybe they can just do the return match, and
get
both made, because the Usos are the best tag team in the WWE right now. They are
hands down. Hands down. They've taken that from
probably the second best tag team.
It was for a long time. It was the New Day, but they've kind of. I don't like this pancake thing. It's weird.
Yeah, it's very weird.
It's strange.
Yeah, I think they're on the way to splitting up in 6 months' time. But.
See, I don't... Okay, we're not going to talk about where the New Day go because I've got so many ideas for them and theories and what have you. But in regards to WrestleMania, I actually think what you just said is right. I think I would rather see the Bar versus the Usos in a barnstormer.
But we've
Give
also,
them- give them-
we've also
give them
got to
10
remember
minutes.
that Survivor Series is the only time of the year that Raw and SmackDown can face each
Not
other
after
in one-on-one
WrestleMania, it won't be.
competition.
Not after
Right.
Fastlane, because after
Yeah.
Fastlane, everyone's on every show again. So,
but
apart from
there's the problem with both tag team divisions.
Yep.
Probably going to be multi-man, fatal four-way matches.
Yep.
You know,
But if they're not, I'd actually rather just have them one-on-one.
yeah,
And,
I would.
and the rest of the teams, unfortunately, I'm sorry to say, will just be in the Andre the
Well,
Giant
that's I
or
think
Battle Royal.
ultimately what it is. If you haven't had a good enough year in terms of your character in WWE, you shouldn't be on the card. And they have to be cutthroat. I know they
Whatever
want to
you're
try and get
given, you
everyone
have to
on
work the best with
Yeah.
it. And you have to make it relatable to people as best as you possibly
I
can.
know they want to be on the show and they want to get everyone on the show, get everyone the
If
pay.
I
but
was
you
Zack
gotta be
Ryder,
cutthroat.
if I was Zack Ryder, or if I was Aiden English and Rusev Day, despite the year I'd had or whatever, I'd want to be on WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And someone, probably Mark Carano or, whoever's in charge of talent race, maybe Road Dogg, Triple H, whoever, will have to go around and tell some of these people, you're not on this year.
I mean, Samoa Joe got called up last year and he wasn't on WrestleMania, was he?
He was called the night after. Oh no, but just before.
He was called up just after the Rumble.
Just after the Rumble.
Yeah.
But so that's what we think will happen with the Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships, because they are in the maybe pile. We'll talk about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal very briefly, because again, this is the place for the unlucky lot.
Yeah,
it shouldn't be, because it's a legend's name is attached to this match, Kieran.
Yeah, and that's almost like they say that's what when they first debuted this at WrestleMania 30 when Cesaro won it. They were like, "Oh, this isn't just going to be so we can get everyone on the card. This is actually going to mean something." And lo and behold, 4 years later,
It don't mean
it's to
much.
try and get everyone. on the card.
So far we've got Cesaro's won it,
Corbin's won it,
and Big Show.
and Big Show.
They're the three winners.
Yeah.
So potentially,
I'm sure we're missing one. I don't know, but
no, I think that's it.
I'm pretty sure we're missing one. Cesaro won it at 30.
Mojo.
31
Mojo.
last year.
Because him and
There you go.
Jinder.
Yeah.
Him and Jinder were the last two because of wherever his little buddy is, Gronkowski or
Mr. Robert Gronkowski.
freaking hell. I texted you during the middle of the Super Bowl going, is that Zack Ryder's mate?
Yeah.
And you went, yeah. I went, ha, he's
I
losing.
mean, Mojo's mate.
Mojo's mate. Thank God he's not Zack Ryder's mate. Mojo's mate. Yeah.
Zack Ryder's mate is the Big O.
The big. He brought back his show for a bit. He just went away, didn't he?
Away. He should probably bring him back. He's doing nothing.
Bless him. So it will be a case of potentially, if he's not in that ladder match, which we think for the ladder match will be the United States title match.
Yeah.
If Zack's not in there, he'll be in there. I think Rhino and Slater will be in this match.
Yeah.
I mean,
Dolph.
Killian Dane debuted last year in this
Yeah.
match. So an NXT guy,
could be in it.
who
Should be in it.
and you. Well, who's your favourite? One of your favourite?
Probably Lars Sullivan.
Lars Sullivan. I'd love to see Lars Sullivan in this match. I'd love to see Lars Sullivan win this match.
Yeah.
Really would. I think that'd be fantastic. He doesn't have to be called up, but
No, it doesn't. No.
go back to NXT. Look at this.
Yeah.
There you go. More stock in Lars Sullivan. I think he could. Someone in developmental has. It's more stock in winning this match, as much as NXT is developmental these days, than somebody on the main roster.
Yeah.
That's my. I know it's a bit
Yeah.
backwards, upside down, but for me, that's.
Well, Baron Corbin won it that year, didn't he?
Debut.
On his debut, technically his debut. That's how he got called up.
Yeah.
So,
That was his call up.
but yeah, I think every talent that is not on WrestleMania will be in this match, and
Hideo Itami.
yeah,
Godzilla.
He could potentially be there. But these people like Bray and Matt, and this is something that we
Jeff,
didn't even put
potentially.
Bray and Matt on our list, and we forgot about them.
Bray and Matt aren't on.
I don't think they'll have a match with each other at WrestleMania. I don't think it's made a big enough feud.
No, it's not.
So
gone
they'll
well.
probably be in this match.
But they have a match at Chamber.
Yeah.
Okay, so whether Jeff gets involved, maybe, like I said, maybe the Hardys will be in the Raw Tag Team title match if there is a Raw Tag Team title match, unless they go Bar versus the Bar again, which I'd love. Sorry, the Usos versus the Bar. But yeah, I think the Hardys will be in this match as well potentially.
Yeah.
The other one that we've got down is another maybe match. That's match 11.
Yeah.
I think we've done a count right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, Jesus, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13.
It's the 13th match.
This is what we think should and probably does deserve to be
and
WrestleMania.
This is the 13th match in a 2-hour pre-show, 5-hour main show.
So we think 7 hours
7-hour
WrestleMania.
show,
Over a quarter of a day of
Yeah.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
What did you think? You said to me the other day how long you should think WrestleMania should be.
I think this is something that they should do. They should have WrestleMania over 2 days.
2-day WrestleMania, and we're thinking
A 4-hour
Hall
show
of
on
Fame,
each day,
Hall
maybe,
of Fame on the Thursday,
Yeah.
NXT on Takeover on the Friday night,
Yeah.
and then have a 4-hour WrestleMania on the Saturday.
Probably headed by the. I'd say if you had Saturdays headed by the women's matches as the main events of the show, then it'd be the main event of WrestleMania.
Is the
and
men's.
then you'd have day 2 WrestleMania headed by, or vice versa. It doesn't
And
matter
still,
which way.
4-hour pay-per-views are still an hour longer than your traditional
Because I
pay-per-view.
think in terms, even when you're at home and you're sitting there and you're watching WrestleMania, you get a bit tired.
You get
sitting there,
sleepy.
your arse goes dead sitting on a hard chair or something like
Well,
that.
in England, the pre-show started at 10.
Yeah.
The main show started at 12.
Yeah.
And it probably won't finish till gone 5.
Yeah, the one at WrestleMania 32 ended at 4:45. I can't remember what it ended at last year.
Even if a match you're so invested in, it's still very, very difficult to kind of just stay interested.
Yeah.
But that's not as much our problem as much as
Yeah, I know
staying awake.
if The Rock turns up in this WrestleMania and wants his 20 minutes of stardom,
Don't do another promo.
It could happen.
But anyway, the 13th match that we're talking about is in actual fact the guy's jersey that I'm wearing is Shane O'Mac. Love the guy, I think he's great. Him and Daniel Bryan are in one of the most compelling non-physical rivalries I've ever seen in WWE.
Yeah.
Simply from backstage promos that last no longer than about 90 seconds. A few snide remarks here and there, a few disagreements of interaction, a bit of tension, and I tell you what, it's just gold. Now, what they will do at WrestleMania is... I don't know. Will Bryan wrestle for WWE? I very much doubt it. And I think that's more 95% won't, 5% will. Allegedly, he got tested again a few weeks ago. I've seen on some site. I don't believe that. I just think you can't wrestle. We've tried you once. Why would you keep trying?
Even in terms of if you try and get Bryan in this match, how do you get Bryan into this match?
Well, we thought about
have a Shane Daniel Bryan tag team versus Kevin and Sammy, but Bryan and Shane haven't been on the same side.
They wouldn't be together.
The only way you could have them together is that you are still teasing this dissension even during the match.
The closest I think you're going to get to Bryan being on main is him picking a representative.
Yeah.
Now, that could be... I know we spoke about the ladder match with the other stuff. He could pick Randy Orton.
Yeah.
Bryan's representative will be Randy Orton. Or Bryan's representative could be Kevin or Sammy.
Yeah.
Shane and Randy, Shane could pick Randy.
Yeah.
As his representative.
Shane actually could be involved in the Ronda match. Randomly.
Could you imagine Ronda and Shane versus in some sort of cross?
Yeah.
I mean, that's unlikely.
It's unlikely, but it's a potential thing.
There's nothing, as we know with Jeff Jarrett going to the Hall of Fame, nothing is off the table with WWE.
Maybe Punk.
I think we're still a couple of years away from Punk being involved. I wonder how many times Punk will be in video packages over the WrestleMania weekend. How many more olive? He was in one at 25.
Yeah.
How many in the Raw 25? How many olive branches will be extended? But we think that there will be something to do with Sammy, Kevin, Daniel, and Shane. Like we say, whether it's representatives, whether it's a tag, a special ref, a cage match,
whether it's Kevin versus Sammy.
Kevin versus Sammy with it could be Kevin and Bryan versus Sammy and Shane. We don't know what on earth is going to happen between now and WrestleMania, but they are all the matches that we think deserve.
Well, I think we should add one more. I think we should.
Sasha Bailey.
Sasha Bailey is a serious potential match at WrestleMania.
Now, if you watch Monday Night Raw every week, which we are, they're bubbling the feud. We must be close to one of them turning heel. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It's got to be Sasha. She's the best heel in the company for a woman. I know Charlotte's pretty good. She's pretty goddamn sweet when she's doing all the, queen of excellence, and which she is. She's the woman, if you may. Her dad was the man. She is the woman. But for me, it's got to be Sasha. Would Bailey turn heel? Maybe. I guess I'd be interested in it. Yeah. But I'd much rather see Sasha.
Yeah, I think this.
But what kind of match could these girls have that they haven't had already?
Standard match, wouldn't it?
It would be.
The match they had at Takeover Brooklyn, the first one for the women's title.
Where's Bailey won?
Best women's match
of the last
WWE, I'd say so far.
I'm very, very man enough to. I was still in Leeds at the time, so I actually watched that on my own. I'm very, very man enough to say that is the first time I've ever cried. I didn't know I had it in me. I cared.
You do have a soul.
I do. I'm not ginger.
Yeah, you're not a ginger.
We can say that because he's a bit, and his brother is ginger, so we're not gingerist. But which isn't a relation to a Jinder Mahal. We're just gingerist.
But
I love
another one, Jinder Mahal. But what's Jinder Mahal going to do?
Well, we thought it'd be the United States title match or the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Do you know what if he won the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle after being screwed last year?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool. I'd be fine with that. He's former WWE champion. Yeah, I would love Bayley versus Sasha at WrestleMania. Heel Bayley versus heel Sasha versus Mega Babyface Bayley. And that's a match Bayley has to win if that happens, I think.
Yeah.
Just to give us momentum. So, they are the matches.
That's 14.
That's 14 matches, including the Sasha Bayley match.
Now we'll go through the list of who's not in these 14 matches.
Right. We haven't mentioned Becky.
Yeah.
We haven't mentioned Baron Corbin much. We kind of dropped him in. Elias.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
Yeah. Potentially, like I said, he could be in any... He could be in the IC match. He could be in the Ronda match. He could be in the,
He could be. He could just slide in anywhere.
Yeah.
New Day.
Again, that's
tag,
a massive one.
potentially, but at the moment we're not sure.
Yeah.
Kane.
Yeah.
The Big Show. Dolph. Jinder. Finn.
Yeah.
Where's Finn Balor going to go? He has to be on.
Like I said, IC
match, title. But then when does Braun go? You can't. The one thing I'm concerned about when I'm talking about these things, and I'll go through a few more for us just really quickly. Rusev, English, which again Rusev, they could be in the SmackDown Tag Team Titles match. Gable and Benjamin, they could be in the SmackDown title match as well. Bludgeon Brothers, they could be in the SmackDown. Like, you see what the problem here is. And Ty Dillinger.
Yeah.
Like, again, Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, most likely.
Naomi.
Yeah, Naomi. What are Absolution going to do?
Yeah.
What are
Riot Squad
the Riot Squad going to do? That's 2 again. That's a lot. That's 5 women right there. Because you can't count Paige. But in actual fact, injured list, not as long as it has been over previous WrestleManias. Paige, Dean Ambrose. Again, it's a massive one. Is Dean Ambrose, isn't it? Jason Jordan and Samoa Joe.
Yeah.
We don't know, and potentially Jeff Hardy. We don't really know Joe or Jeff's timeline of coming back. We know Jordan's going to be a while. Ambrose is going to be a while. We could add Daniel Bryan to that list, but we're going over old stuff really there. Obviously, we know Paige is probably done. Unfortunately, there's nobody else. I mean,
there is probably some.
I mean, Mickey James.
Titus Worldwide. I don't know if we've mentioned.
We have potentially, but the major problem with this, and I mean, we leave the people there alone for now. But the major problem I've got with having so many multi-man or multi-women matches at WrestleMania is, do you remember WrestleMania 16?
Yeah.
McMahon in every corner.
Every single match that night, except for one, was a multi-man.
And do you remember what match that was?
And that was the Cat versus...
Yep. Terry Reynolds.
That's it, yeah.
And even that had a gimmick. Yeah. That had 2 gimmicks. Yeah. It had a special guest referee, was Val Venus.
Yeah. Hello, ladies.
Hello, ladies. I reffed Val Venus. Part of my childhood died that night.
You saw underneath his towel, didn't
you? He wore a towel and he wore 3/4 lengths under there. Nah. You remember my 3/4 lengths? Yeah. They weren't good. And he wore a tank top. Well, like a sleeveless vest. And he's fat now.
I'm bald.
and he's still Sean Morley, and he still wore the towel. And but he was an absolute professional. Loved him. And that was the only match, but it had 2 gimmicks. Yeah. That was the gimmick, and the other gimmick was the winner. It was whoever threw the other person to the outside of the ring.
Yeah.
So I don't want another gimmick where you've got 4, a man every corner, all having a manager. I don't want another situation where you've got a loser leaves the thing. I don't want a 15-minute hardcore battle royal. Have 1 or 2 of them, but you can't have 30. I think that night had 11 matches. Yeah. But that was only a 3-hour show.
Yeah, and this is the problem. You want to give matches,
and some of their matches were pointless. Yeah. You had the Godfather and D'Lo Brown versus Bull Buchanan and the Bossman that opened that show. Meant nothing.
Yeah.
All of these mean something. They all have a direction and a point to them.
Yeah, again, that's the problem.
So what do you do?
The problem with this year's WrestleMania.
Do you have a 12-hour WrestleMania and get on with it?
See, I think I was saying a 5-hour WrestleMania. Even if you forget about the pre-show, some people might not even tune in for the pre-show.
There's going to be children that go to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
And after 3 hours, an hour into the main show.
Well, we've been to Raw and we sat there for 3 hours, and we find it hard to sit there for 3 hours. And we're like, by the end of it, you're just like, I want to, stand up, walk around, do something.
Sorry about that. Especially when it's predictable about what's about to happen. You'd hope WrestleMania won't be predictable.
Yeah.
But a few of these matches we've gone through, you can see a clear winner.
I think in the middle of this, you've got the Hall of Fame, the ceremony.
You've probably got a little
musician at the start, the US national anthem.
But then normally halfway through you have
firework display.
But you normally have a whole you normally have the musician do a little piece, don't you?
Undertaker's entrance will take about 20 minutes. There's loads of little things, and this is the thing. A 5-hour WrestleMania main show will not fit all these matches in. Even if you had 3 matches on the pre-show, you probably still won't fit all these matches in.
You won't. Guys.
So how do you fix it? One, you be cutthroat and you just cut people off the card. Be
savage.
I don't think WWE will do that.
No.
Or 2, you're just going to have to say it's a 6-7 hour show and add another pre-show before that.
So, guys, there it is. This is the problem. It's a good one, but it's still a massive, massive problem for WWE. This has been the problem with this year's WrestleMania. He's been the director of creativity.
Yeah, that's been me. Yeah, that has been me. Yeah.
Every time. I'm the voice, Craig Anderson. Thank you very much for watching this special presentation from Dirt Sheet Mania. We will see you very soon. Bye-bye.